Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning. Is my voice clear to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Just a minute. Okay, thread analysis process. Okay, let's start. My screen is visible to you, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Last class we had with discussed with HR planning. Uh, we started with HR planning. We studied about the need of HRP, the objectives of HRP, difference between strategic planning and HR planning, how HR planning is different at different levels, like from sectoral level, from the national level, sectoral level, industry level, unit level, and then department level. What are the factors that are affecting HR planning? What are the factors that are affecting HR planning? And now we come to a process of HR planning. Process of HR planning basically deals like how are we going to Process of HR planning basically deals with how we are going to plan for the human resource requirement for the industry. Yeah. So, for a layman's language, for simple understanding, it is like analyzing the organizational plans and deciding the objectives, like what are the organizational plans, whether we are looking for any expansion or whether we are looking for acquiring anything new. If at all there is a development in the organizational plans, then we have to decide on the objectives. Objectives in terms like fitting of timeline, objectives in terms like what are the work that has to be done, how many people are required, who will be the person who will be leading it. Then the second step is analyzing the factors for the manpower requirement, like what is the demand forecasting and making a supply forecasting. Then developing employment plans, and then developing the human resource plan. This is just a layman's language. The actual human resource planning process happens like this. Like there are there is a scanning of the external environment as well as the internal environment. Then there is a strategic planning which is done. Then a human resource planning, strategic planning comes down to human resource planning, which is again divided into three parts, like forecasting of the human resource requirements, comparing of requirements and availability, and forecasting human resource availability. This is again like seen into three parts. One is the demand is equal to supply, so no action will be taken. Surplus of workers, either they will be restricted in hiring or there will be retirement, there will be voluntary retirement scheme, reduced hours, there will be layoff, downsizing. If there is a shortage of workers, then it is recruitment, then selection. But this isn't as easy as I had said you. The process actually goes like this. Bolo mujhe. The process actually goes on like this. Like when we first talk about external environment, when we talk about human resource planning itself, what exactly, when we talk about human resource planning itself, what exactly we are talking about? Like first of all, we are looking for the external and the internal environment. When we talk about internal environment basically we have to see like what are the internal environment. Basically we have to see like what are the key forces that are affecting the organization's operation, like what is the demographics of the current population, what is the technology requirement, is there a work-life balance among the people or not, what are the cultural issues, what are the staffing issues, what are the budget issues, what are the expectations of the clients. Then second step is we have to look for what are the knowledge, skill, ability, what is the capability of the workforce that we have inside the organization have, like what is the company's current internal environment, like what elements are supporting the current strategic direction, like what are the elements that are hampering the organizations from reaching its goal, like how is that organization structure matlab, as we have studied about line, as we have seen line structure and staff function, then we have seen like structure kaise hota hai, whether it is a matrix structure or whether it is a like top down structure. We have to see what is the structure in the organization that has been followed, like this is the internal environment I'm talking about, and how likely it is going to be changed, how likely we are going to follow that change. The other factors that we will be discussing in internal environment is how the organization has changed and respect to like what is the type of work that they are doing, what is the amount of work they are doing, and what is the use of technology they are doing in terms of completing the current work, and how it will affect the change, or when there will be a change, how is it going to affect it. Now, inside a company, or when the internal environment is scanned, there are people who are recruited. Then there are customers, there are public, the stakeholders. There are perception of those stakeholders regarding that or quality of that organization, quality of the programs of those organization, quality of services of those organization, what is being done, what can be done, like what are the current programs, what are the processes, what are the services currently, and how they are contributing to the specific organizational goals. For a very small example, I'll tell you, like this is a survey which had been done. There were some of the big companies that we had taken into, and we had asked about the general public in the sense like they are not directly associated with the company, like कोई उनके रिश्तेदार उस company में हैं, या they had been some way back they had dealt with that company. Now when we had asked about what is their when we had asked about what is their idea about that company, like for example, there was a company. I'm not supposed to reveal the name, but then बताती हूँ, like we had talked about Bajaj. So the very first thing, we had taken a sample size, we had taken a population, and we had asked like, what are your ideas about Bajaj? The very first thing the people had said is like, Bajaj paisa pay nahi karta hoga. Like it would not be paying much money to the people over there. Like they might not be associated with it, they might not be a direct person who would be dealing with that company. That any kind of family member, some days back, any kind of family member might have been associated with Bajaj, but then as a stakeholder that we had asked people like, what is your perception about this company's services, what is this perception about the company's programs, just to study about the internal environment. People had asked like stakeholders, basically the stakeholders, they had said like, Bajaj would not be paying much money. So this is how the the internal environment as well as the external environment is shaped. So when I talked about internal environment basically deals with the internal organizational structure, like how that organization is going to change, and what type of structure, what type of amount of work, how the changes in the future is going to be incorporated in the organization. Okay, how that kind of changes will be incorporated in the organization, like how the company has to change in terms of why are people continuously joining. I can't understand, like they've been disturbing like anything. Yes, so how the company is going to change with respect to the people it has recruited, what are the knowledge, skill, ability, the capability of the people that they are working in the organization have, like what are the key forces, what are the technological requirement, what are the budget issues, what are the expectation of the clients, what are the expectations of the clients. All these things contribute to the internal environment. When I talk about the external scanning of the environment or external environment is basically like, what are the company's goal, and what is the impact of the local trends on the company. Local trends matlab, like what are the impact of demographic, what is the impact of what is the impact of demographic, what is the impact of political, intergovernmental, what is the impact of cultural. It has it has an influence on the company. Are you aware about a company called as POSCO? It's a South Korean multinational. Somewhere 10 years back, it had planned of setting up its plant at one of the remote areas in Odisha. Okay, somewhere 10 years back, it has planned of setting up one of its biggest plants in the remote areas of Odisha. So the site which it had looked for, जहाँ पे वो अपना plant setup करेंगे बोल के उन्होंने जहाँ पे देखा था, actually जो site था, that is somewhere near to a port called as Paradip. It's a port. So it will be easy for them to kind of getting their materials. So they had chosen one. They had chosen one site where they would be establishing their company, and it is one of the rural parts of Odisha. Being that part, Odisha being one of the agrarian state, agrarian economy matlab people over there mostly depend on agriculture for their livelihood. उसने जो plant जहाँ पे वो area देखा था, that area is actually a place where betel leaf cultivation happens. You understand what betel leaf is? आपको समझ में आता है बीटल लीफ क्या है? आप लोगों को समझ में आता है ना?
नहीं मैम।
पान पता है ना? पान?
यस मैम।
पान का जो पत्ता होता है ना, दैट एरिया इज वेरी फेमस फॉर कल्टीवेशन ऑफ पान का पत्ता. ओके, सो द एरिया जो वो पोस्को चूज किया था, तो इफ पोस्को वुड हैव बीन देयर, देन जो वहाँ के जो लोग हैं जो पान का लाइक दे ग्रो पान एंड देयर होल लाइवलीहुड डिपेंड्स अपॉन दैट, तो वो ऑलमोस्ट डेमोलिश हो जाता, लाइक इट वुड हैव गॉन. बट देन पोस्को हैड गिवन Posco has given forward one thing, like if we are going to set up, we are going to choose among you people only, like son of the soil bol ke ek there is a thing that happens in recruitment. It is a policy actually, like they would give first preference to the people over there. So they had assured like we will be giving livelihood to your family. But then a lot many of external things happen, like there was a political interference. There was a kind of people started saying like this, once this company comes, like our livelihood would go, this company will pollute our area. uh, Very big things happen, like there was mostly a political interference, and finally they couldn't. POSCO tried for a good 6 to 7 years to set up that company over there, but then that thing didn't happen. POSCO set up its new plant at Chakan. The latest that was that it came back to Chakan. It has set up its new plant at Chakan. So this is what external environment is. External environment is, you have to see what are the local trends on the company. You have to see what is the cultural, political, economic, and what intergovernmental things are there. So once you scan those, then only you will be able to think about expansion in your organization, or you will be able to think about whatever changes in the future, whether you would be able to incorporate it or not. The other part when we talk about external environment is your competitors, like what exactly your competitors are doing, what exactly your competitors are doing, what exactly your how they are looking for this environment. uh, Huh. Like when we talk about the external environment, how different it is from the future, that one thing has to be taken into consideration. Like what are the forces behind this external environment and what implications it will have for the organization. The other thing that they look for is what kind of trends or forces that affect the company's stakeholders, or what are the trends or forces that is going to affect the company's customers. So this is what the internal and the external environment that I'm talking about. Now once internal and external environment has been talked about, the next step is looking after the strategic planning. As I had told you earlier, human resource planning is a part of strategic planning. Like human resource planning is just a part, just like your marketing planning, just like your production planning, just like your manufacturing planning. It is similarly a part of human resource, part of strategic planning, which looks after or which involves the forecasting of human resources need. Like there is a projection of matching the individuals with the expected vacancies. That is what your HRP does. Now, when it comes to human resource planning, it has to begin with several questions. Several questions is like, what are the new technologies and what are the operating cost and how are they going to affect the work system. Like what is the volume of business that will be for the next say 5 years or next 10 years down the line, what will be the volume of business. The other thing is, what is the current employee turnover rate and how much we are going to avoid it. Employee turnover is one of the major issues. Like there are companies where like there is a small rate of employee turnover, then there is a high rate of employee turnover. Some 5-6 years back, Infosys had a high rate of employee turnover. Like their people were not able to stick to in for 6 months also. They have started reducing it, but then they are still in a high turnover ratio. So what will be the employee turnover ratio and how that can be avoided? Once these questions are answered, like once you are very specific about the human resources that are available with you, or you are actually clear about that training and you're actually clear about that hiring, then you go forward with the planning. Now, when you plan, you see that whether you are going to if there is an if there is in a position where like like the volume of business is going to increase in another 5 years, if there is a forecasting that has been made and that forecasting is strong enough, and you need a like more technically trained people, then the organization has to start defining the jobs. They have to start defining the skills that is needed. You either are going to hire or you are either going to train the recruiters who would be looking for specific specified skills or specific people. Like you have to provide to the training for the existing employees, where you see like people can be matched. There are people who can be matched to the requirement. You start providing new training for the existing faculties. And other essential measures that we talk about in human resource planning is the first thing in we do in HR policy making is we create a very simple database of records with basic information on each employee. This is a very common thing. Whichever organization you join, whether if it is an organization of 5 to 6 people, or whether it is an organization of 500 to 6 people, the first thing that one HR process starts, or HR planning starts with, creating a very simple database where you need to have the full name of the employee, date of birth, address, joining date, wage, current salary, blood groups, any requirement, what are the skill sets. Then accordingly, you will be developing the job description, performance standards or performance appraisal methods, and you will go on. Okay. Now, human resource planning, it has been categorized into 3 parts. One is saying like forecasting of human resource requirements, then comparing the requirements and availability, like what people we have. That's what I said, like if we have good people and they are matching to the requirements, then we can train them. Then forecasting on human resource availability is like we are talking about the turnover, what is the turnover rate currently and how it is going to be avoided. Now, when we talk about comparing requirements and availability, we see like if there is a demand and it is equal to supply, then we are going to take no action on them rather than just giving them training and appraising them. If we see that we have a surplus of workers, either we are going to lay off a few workers, or we are going to downsize, which is actually the last thing in every company's mind. What they do is like they either do restriction in hiring, or they reduce the hours, or they offer an early retirement basis, like for the employees who are in a higher age group. Layoff and downsizing is something which is in the last phase that the companies do. Now, the third is when there is a shortage of workers, then we start with the recruitment process and then we go for a selection among those recruitment process. So this is how your human resource planning is done. I had detailed those things that I talked about in this slides. So I'll be handing over this slides so you can read it. Now, another aspect of human resource planning is what are the methods that are used in human resource planning. जब human resource planning होता है तो क्या methods use होते हैं? Okay, I have missed one of the methods. Why are people joining now? Okay, I have missed one of the methods. When I talk about methods of human resource planning is, as I had said, human resource planning मतलब we are predicting the human requirement of human resource. हम यहाँ पे predict कर रहे हैं that in another 5 years हमें इतने लोग चाहिए. But predict हम कैसे करेंगे? So we use some statistical tools while predicting them, and kind of like based on those statistic tools we put people in it. ये methods of human resource planning है जिसमें मैंने 2 method छोड़ दी हूँ. I'll start with those 2 methods. Okay. The first method is called as scenario planning. Scenario planning was originally introduced by a company called as Shell. Now, how many of you know that company called as Shell? Shell बोल के company है, आपको पता है कि नहीं? Yes.
Petrol के.
Yes. It's not an Indian company. Okay, the scenario planning, the first method is actually called as scenario planning. It was originally used by the company Shell some 40 years back. It is actually a qualitative planning process. Qualitative planning process matlab, in this scenario planning, some of the critical dimensions are looked after. Critical dimensions matlab, they look after the theoretical part. Like suppose they are talking about 2 critical aspects called as business growth and skill adequacy, where like वहाँ पे कैसे करते हैं, they different scenario आता है. Like today nobody some 5 years back nobody thought of this pandemic that will be coming. So scenario planning is such kind of situation, like if there is a business growth or if there is a skill adequacy that we will be looking for, 2 of the critical dimensions that I'm talking about. So how are we going to work out, like where are we going to bring the people and how are we going to put them? The scenario planning is based on the जैसे case study solve करते हो ना वैसा है ये scenario planning. But then this has been heavily criticized by other people saying like there is a lot many of ambiguity involved in it. Like we do not know whether the scenario planning that we have done will be approaching or will not be approaching. Like there are situations where we'll not be approaching, but then it is something like it helps them to keep them it helps them to keep their human resources ready. It helps them to keep their people ready. कि अगर ऐसा सिनेरियो अराइज करता है then we will have people for this. Okay, the other method I am talking about is a critical incident method, जो कि मैंने भी मेंशन नहीं किया है. Critical incident method is where there is an open ended questions that has been given to the management, like for example like what do you think 5 years down the line where is the company going? Okay, for the other management, the management representatives, they put their answers. Based on those answers, the companies come out of an idea like another 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line, the company is going through way, or the company is going to require a particular person who is going to handle a project. If that project is undertaken, if that project will be starting, a person is going to handle this process, and then they keep a requirement like in the future we would require one person who would be having this kind of job description or this kind of kind of job responsibilities. That is called as your critical incident method. It is one of the qualitative methods. Now we talk about Delphi method. Delphi is actually one technique which is developed by Dalke, NC Dalke. So here experts give opinion, not the management representatives, but then experts give opinion. When I talk about experts, आपने कभी मैकेंसी का रिपोर्ट देखा है? Have you ever seen any McKinsey's report?
Yes मैम, हर साल आता है.
हाँ, very good, thank you. प्राइस वाटरहाउस कूपर्स का रिपोर्ट देखा है? PwC का?
नहीं मैम.
जैसे मैकेंसी है वैसे ही प्राइस वाटरहाउस कूपर्स का है. And these people, they predict. It's a Delphi method. They predict like this is a situation, this will be the situation. Pandemic, this much of people are working from home, this much of company have given work from home. 5 years down the line, how the companies are going to change and how they will be bringing the people back. Like for 4 or 5 days back, there was news in the paper saying like TCS is working that by 2025 it will bring 25% of its workforce back to office. TCS is working from now that by 2025 it will be bringing 25% of its workforce back to office. So this is some kind of Delphi method. Delphi method is the experts, they never meet face to face. Okay, there is a facilitator. There is one person who acts as a facilitator, and he or she circulates some open-ended question among the experts, and the experts then choose their answers and they answer it to the facilitator. The one of the advantages here, none of the experts work like none of the experts know each other, but then there is a diverse area from which these experts are chosen and they give opinion, and this opinion are very much fair and free from bias, and somewhat these opinions are kind of like accurate. ये लोग जो बोलते हैं ना, it's somewhat kind of accurate. So based on your Delphi method, the human resource planning happens. Next is your nominal group technique. Nominal group technique is another qualitative method like the Delphi method, but in this case, nominal group technique, the experts, they meet face to face. Now, before meeting face to face, the experts actually go through various of documents, and they make adequate preparations, and they give their informed opinions to here. All the ideas that these experts give are actually documented and shown it through the chats, flip charts actually. And a secret voting kind of system happens, and some of those ideas which are very popular get selected and they have been incorporated in the planning process. Then we talk about your time study. Time study is where there is an established time for the jobs. Time study मतलब कैसे होता है? Like they are jobs are divided or broken into different parts like task A, task B, and task C. And each task A, B, C is been monitored. Like when it is broken down into tasks, they are monitored and they are observed. Like in task A, how much time is taken by that person. In task B, how much time is taken by that person. Task C, how much person is taken by that person. And then the speed is measured. Speed measure होने के बाद they see whether accuracy है कि नहीं. अगर accuracy नहीं है, then there they are thinking of training that person. Like जहाँ पे delay होता है, they try to train that person, or they try to reduce tasks over here, so that unnecessarily task A, B, C, D ना होके task A, task B में काम खत्म हो जाए. This is called as time study. इसका एक kind of एक formula भी है, जो leave it is not there in your आपका ऐसे calculation नहीं है तो छोड़ देते हैं. Time study basically deals with what is the amount of time that each of the work takes place, and then based on that time they choose whether the work is accurate or whether they are completing it in a standard time or they are crossing that time limit. This time study is something which has been taken from the time and motion study. Then we talk about work sampling. Work sampling is where this is actually work sampling is used when we are redesigning that work. When we are not designing that work, rather we are redesigning that work. Here a number of observations are done on the basis of how the work is done. One statistical sample size is chosen. एक sample size choose होता है. Random observations होता है sample size को देख के. For example, like there are 220 observations अगर हम लिए हैं एक ऑफिस असिस्टेंट के वर्क को, सो विदाउट इंटरप्टिंग द असिस्टेंट इट इज ऑब्जर्व दैट हाउ मच टाइम that assistant is using for while conversing or while client meetings में, how much time that person is using, how much time that person is on phone, how much time that person is mailing, and how much time he's talking face to face. So work sampling is based on that. Like वो ऑब्जर्व करने के बाद we will be reducing the time hours, or we are seeing whether that person is overutilized or underutilized, and based on that one assistant whether should be provided to that person or a new job should be introduced, whether we would be taking another person who would be working half of that person. Based on that work sampling is done. The other one is your ratio analysis. All of them are MCQs. सिर्फ याद रखो, ठीक है? All of them are MCQs. Ratio analysis is very simple, where a future prediction of manpower is done. Like if there is an increasing trend and we are seeing in sales, then we need more of the salesperson. If there is we calculate the ratio, like each year we calculate 2011 में कितने sales हुआ था, 2012 में कितना sales हुआ था, 2013 में कितना sales हुआ था, 2014 में बेस्ड ऑन 2011 टू 2013 2014 का सेल हम बता सकते हैं. नहीं तो इफ यू आर गोइंग टू सी, इफ यू आर प्लानिंग एक डिकेड का सेल हम प्लान करेंगे, विल सी कि 2001 से 2010 में कितना सेल हुआ था, 2011 से 2020 में कितना सेल हुआ था. सो 2021 में वी विल बी forecasting that we need this much person, because based on the last 2 decades sale we will be forecasting this decade sale, and यहाँ पे हम उतना उस सेल के बेसिस में we will be planning our manpower requirement. Markov analysis, Markov chain analysis is it is a probability matrix use होता है. It is a high statistic use होता है. basis ज़्यादातर जब IT companies recruit करते हैं they go for Markov chain analysis. It is somewhat not given, आपके सामने नहीं रखा जाता है, but then it is something like each HR plans for जब भी ज़्यादा IT requirement होता है they use this kind of बड़े companies जो रहते हैं Infosys वगैरह, TCS वगैरह, they use Markov chain analysis. Even Tata Auto Components is one such company which is using Markov chain analysis for predicting the manpower. How do they do it? They first make a probability matrix by taking 2 time periods, and under these 2 time periods they observe how the business runs. Like what are the external disturbances that has happened to the business, or what are the internal disturbances that has happened to the business, and whether the business situation is stable or whether the business situation is unstable. Now the time gap between the 2 periods should be as such that it should not be long. Like that is why I have told you about like 2 time periods. Like like 2019-20 लिया है या 2020-21 लिया है, and they are, that is again divided into 4 hierarchical labels. Like each employees are divided into 4 hierarchical labels. Grade दिया जाता है according to the company, and they would be seeing like what is the original people in that grade, and by the end of the year how much people are left. होता है ना for companies, like there are people who retire, there are people who go for voluntary termination or who go for forced resignation. तो वो एंड में जो टाइम आएगा और एंड में जो डेटा आता है उस बेसिस पे वो थर्ड ईयर का वो प्रोजेक्ट करते हैं, दैट इज कॉल्ड एज मार्कऑफ चेन एनालिसिस, और दैट इज आल्सो समवॉट व्हिच हेल्प्स इन ट्रांसफरिंग द एम्प्लॉइज टू डिफरेंट लेबल्स और इवन प्लानिंग फॉर प्रमोशन प्रोसेस. Then we talk about regression analysis. Regression analysis is your simple linear regression where the relationship between one independent variable and one dependent variable is looked after. But when we talk about multiple regression analysis, it is one independent variable predicts when it comes to multiple regression analysis, it is one independent variable predicts one dependent variable predicts many independent variables. मल्टीपल रिग्रेशन वेरिएबल में कैसा होता है, ऐसा एक इक्वेशन सेट होता है, y is equal to a is a constant plus b into x1. x1 is your variable, b is also a constant plus b to x2. x2 is also your variable. यहाँ पे क्या होता है, y is nothing but intention to quit or leaving the organization रहता है. x1 might be why you would be leaving the organization, it might be due to salary reason, or it might be due to your manager, or it might be like you will be commuting more from your place to your organization, or you're not receiving any support from your peers, or you're not receiving any support from your family. So these are the reasons. उस basis पे regression analysis अगर डाला जाएगा, there will be a point, or then we'll come to a planning technique, and we will predict like in the future whether you will be leaving the company or not. The other thing that we will be talking about is your succession planning, which is very famous due to this Tata's case. Just a minute. The other thing is your succession planning, which is very famous due to this Tata's case. आपको पता है ना succession planning and Tata's case?
Yes sir, yes ma'am.
Yes.
वो ये होता dispute हुआ था.
Yes. The other thing that we have not heard about is Axis Bank का succession planning. L&T का भी succession planning is a case study. Like when we talk about Axis Bank, there was one Mr. Pangal Jayendra Naik. I don't know whether you have heard about or not. He was the CEO of Axis Bank, and when he had gone to, like in the time of his retirement years, there were no successor at that time. Like there was, उन्होंने वो successor ही नहीं choose कर पाए, and Axis Bank at that time was one of the leading banks. So at this juncture, वहाँ पे क्या किया गया कि RBI started interfering there, and RBI suggested that this post of CEO, पहले जो CEO का जो post था ना उसको split कर दो, divide it into 2 parts, give one post of a managing director and one post of a chairman, and accordingly promote the employee into that area. But then this is an external word. Axis Bank मतलब Axis Bank का वो internal ये था, तो they were not ready to split that part, split the CEO into 2 parts, and there was a lot many of argument that happens, and they kept arguing like in banks there is no succession planning kind of system that would be there. Like banks में succession planning नहीं होता है बोल के वो लोग argue किए, because they were not ready कि CEO को वो ये करेंगे, like it will be cut down. So the board जो भी बैंक का board था, they started looking for external successors. There was one madam known as Shikha Sharma who is leading now. Shikha Sharma's name was proposed, like she was an externally, she was brought into and will be put in the board and will be put as a position of CEO. But then Mr. Naik was not ready to vote for Sharma. Okay, so he thought like Mr. Naik said like he was an internal employee. He said like Axis Bank a solid foundation I had built it, and how could that succession planning be happen? And we will bring an external person. And we'll be putting that person in a as a person person who will be sitting in the CEO. But finally, the board recruited and posted Shikha Sharma in one of those managing director or chairman post mein, who was another who worked for 5 years and then was promoted to CEO. Similarly, had happened in the case of L&T. उनका तो बहुत बड़ा fiasco हुआ था. It was more like the person. I don't remember that person's name. Like he was also one Naik, Mr. Naik. He was a chairman and managing director of Larsen Toubro. So by the age of 70, he was given the topmost position, and he was asked to leave the company. Like he was done with the company. He was retirement would happen, but then at that time he had also not planned for any succession planning. So what he did, like he challenged the board of L&T board, and L&T board decided on splitting the company's top position. Instead of giving the CEO position to one person, they said like it will be divided into two parts. One will be your CEO and the other one will be managing director. Once this Mr. Naik stepped down from the position of managing director, but then he continued to be the executive chairman of the company. उन्होंने पूरा छोड़ा नहीं था because he was one of the founder members. So he continued to be the executive chairman of the company, but then he started guiding. उनके जगह पे एक CEO जो recruit किए गए और जो managing director जो recruit किए गए, he started guiding the people over there, and those people, क्योंकि they were from external forces and they were not एक culture company का culture उनको पता नहीं रहता है, तो they started guiding them, and by guiding them he termed like he put like this is a succession planning process that will be happening. Like once the CEO and MD moves out, there will be new people who will be joining from inside the company as a CEO and MD. So this is what there are two case studies of succession planning of Axis Bank and L&T. There is another case study that is a very Pune based company. आपके यहीं पे ही है. This is of Anu Aga. How many of you know the Anu Aga?
Yes, ma'am. Thermax.
Thermax. So when Anu Aga's husband left, like he died, na. So there were at that time there was no one who would have taken over the position. Like he was on the post when he died. So Anu Aga immediately took over, but then she had no experience of the business. The first 10 years of Anu Aga was totally the company went into a loss. But then she turned around that company with the help of people. She turned around that company, and she turned around that company, and today Thermax is one of those. Till now, from October 2004, she has been serving as a director on the Thermax board. But till now, also she is ruling the companies. She is ruling the company. Like it has been given to her children, but then children are also have set up their own companies. It is one of those case study of succession planning, which initial stages में it went wrong, but then she took over the company. ये बहुत बड़ा case study है, मैंने आपको बहुत छोटे से ही बोल दी. Okay, so this is how HR planning process happens. So we are at the end of chapter 2. We are at the end of chapter 2, first version. Your next version will be job design, job analysis. Then the third version is your recruitment and selection. Succession planning is also there at the end. Okay, so we are completed with our HR planning process. I might be posting your PPT today in your group. Anything more? Any doubts? I have everything written detailed over here. But then if you have any doubt, let me know. If I have anything to cover, I don't think so. What are the recent trends in human resource planning? Recent trends in human resource planning is like there is a move towards a more sophisticated HRP where use of all those mathematical complexities have been associated with human resource systems. Second is use of many softwares has been used for solving of this human resource system, and like times has been reduced, times in terms of recruiting and training the new people has been reduced. The instability and uncertainties in the job as requirements are somewhat which we are able to identify earlier, and moreover we are easily able to get a manpower data, we are easily about to look out for people and choose the people. So these are all the recent trends in human resource planning. Okay, any doubt? Any doubts? Anything you need to ask me?
मैडम ये प्योरली थियोरेटिकल सब्जेक्ट है ना मैडम ये?
हाँ, प्योरली थियोरेटिकल सब्जेक्ट है. अभी इसको कुछ नहीं कर सकते क्योंकि वी आर टीचिंग इट ऑनलाइन एंड वी हैव टू कवर 70% of this subject so that you could give your MCQs.
Yes, ma'am.
अगर फेस टू फेस होते तो दिस वाज समथिंग व्हिच वुड हैव बीन प्योरली केस स्टडी बेसिस.
मैडम कैसा होता है, मतलब क्लासरूम टीचिंग में कैसा टीचिंग होता है इसका?
क्लासरूम टीचिंग ये अलग होता है, ऐसे नहीं होता है. इसका क्वेश्चन पेपर भी बहुत अलग होता है. बट सिंस आपका नहीं है तो व्हाई शुड वी गो देयर? इसका क्वेश्चन पेपर भी बहुत अलग आता है. लाइक इसका एग्जाम अभी तक बच्चों ने दिया नहीं है, बट इसका क्वेश्चन पेपर कंट्रीब्यूशन में एज आई वाज अ पार्ट ऑफ दैट बोर्ड तो मुझे पता है इसका क्वेश्चन पेपर बहुत अलग सेट होता है. पर इसका एग्जाम बच्चों ने दिया नहीं है. लास्ट ईयर ही आपके जो सीनियर्स हैं वही पहला बैच होते हैं 2019 सिलेबस का, बट देन पैंडेमिक की वजह से एग्जाम कैंसिल हो गया एंड वी वर नॉट, मतलब वो एग्जाम ही नहीं हुआ. आप ही लोग दोगे एमसीक्यूज का, बट देन एमसीक्यूज का भी ना एज द सब्जेक्ट इज वेरी वास्ट तो यू डू नॉट नो कि कहाँ से क्वेश्चन आएंगे.
यस मैम. मैडम फिर पहले कौन सा सब्जेक्ट था फिर पुराने सिलेबस में? सब्जेक्ट तो ये कॉमन सब्जेक्ट है ना, एचआरएम.
हाँ, यही एचआरएम ही था, बट देन उसका सिलेबस ही अलग था, उसका टीचिंग भी अलग था. आपके सिलेबस में मेनली जो डिफाइन हो गया है ना कि सीओ पीओ कोर्स आउटकम्स वगैरह, दैट इज व्हाट इज ऑल योर इज द थिंग दैट इज चेंज्ड इन योर टीचिंग. लाइक आपका पहला सब्जेक्ट इज रिमेम्बरिंग, सेकंड इज अंडरस्टैंडिंग एंड अप्लाइंग. अप्लाइंग मतलब केस स्टडी, अंडरस्टैंडिंग मतलब सॉल्विंग पैटर्न है. तो ये जो सीओ जो होता है ना तो उसी में वो चेंज हो जाता है आपका. कैसे पढ़ाना होता है उसमें चेंज हो जाता है, इंटरप्रिटेशन चेंज हो जाता है. आपका एक कंपेंसेशन स्ट्रेटेजी आउटलाइन करने का है, मतलब यू हैव टू ड्रॉ वन कंपेंसेशन स्ट्रेटेजी. तो वो क्लास बेस्ड होता है, लाइक क्लास में ही आपको ड्रॉ करना पड़ता है. बट देन वी डू नॉट
50% मैंने प्रैक्टिकल किया है क्या मैडम ये नए सब्जेक्ट नए सिलेबस में? 50-50 ऐसा किया है?
Okay. Anything more? Any more doubt?
मैडम बस वो आपने आज जो ये पता है ना केस स्टडी, वो एक डिस्कशन ले लो ना एक बार मैडम, क्योंकि इंटरेस्टिंग केस स्टडीज है.
क्या सक्सेशन प्लानिंग का एक्सिस बैंक? अरे मैंने बहुत शॉर्टकट में बताया, आपको पता है वो एक केस स्टडी 10 पेजेस के हैं.
हाँ, टाटा का भी केस स्टडी इंटरेस्टिंग है, तो मतलब वो अभी क्लासरूम तो होगा ही नहीं.
टाटा का केस स्टडी एक बुक है. टाटा का केस स्टडी ना एक 350 पेजेस का बुक है,
क्योंकि उसका पेपर में बहुत आया था जब वो झगड़ा हुआ था तो सारे.
वो देन ही लॉस्ट ना. टाटा का जो सक्सेशन प्लानिंग का केस स्टडी ही लॉस्ट ना, बट देन देयर आर पीपल हु आर वर्किंग इन टाटा, दे फ्रॉम देयर क्या बोलते हैं, उनका एक्सपीरियंस से ही पता चला है कि मतलब हाउ थिंग्स हैव चेंज.
मैम ये आईआई में भी ये केस स्टडी पढ़ाया जा रहा है तो इम्पोर्टेंट है ये
हाँ, वो जो Cyrus Mistry, when he took over, the first thing he started doing is he started cutting manpower. The first thing he did is जो भी experienced manpower थे, he started cutting them out, directly cutting them out. Like today they came to office and today they were told like you are no longer required in the office. This has been told. वो जो case study बना है ना, वो जो case study लिखे हैं ना, it has taken into account to all the people who had worked under Cyrus Mistry, who had worked under Ratan Tata. So there are people, sometimes your education does not count as much as the experience of those people. ठीक है, तो रतन टाटा हैड वैल्यूड देयर एक्सपीरियंस वेरी मच, लाइक उन्होंने वो एक्सपीरियंस के वजह से उनको रखा था. बट द फर्स्ट थिंग दैट मिस्त्री डिड इज ही स्टार्टेड कटिंग पीपल हु हैड एक्सपीरियंस्ड. Like they are no longer performing, we need performing assets बोल के the first thing he did is he started taking them out. That was one such move जो कि like
नेगेटिव हुआ.
हाँ, that is one such move जहाँ के उन्होंने समझने की कोशिश किया कि उनका succession planning has gone wrong. Like when we talk about Tata ना, Tata is a family business na, and Cyrus Mistry is actually not being a family member of Tata. You understand? Like Tata family ka ek legacy hai. Like it has been started from Jamsetji Tata. It is a legacy which has been passed through JRD, through this Mr. Ratan Tata. It has passed through. But till age of 75, as Mr. Ratan Tata had no other family members who would take over, what they did is they started looking for people who were nearby. And the Cyrus Mistry was one of the largest Tata's private shareholder. And he was an outsider. But then they thought of, as he was one of the largest private shareholders, he thought of like we'll be taking him as a successor. The succession planning initially thought of like it was a foolproof, like everything was good. Mistry was given knowledge about the Tata management. He was taught about the style and functioning. Like he started working as a Tata director. As to be a Tata successor, he started working as a Tata director. 6 years. For 6 years, he was started working there. But then, when it was time to take over, it was time to successful transition of leadership. When he took over, he totally ignored the family dynamics. He totally ignored the dynamics that happened between the family and family business. He turned to be a crude businessman. He started saying like Tata now has to look after new opportunities. It has to look after new hopes. All the earlier ideas of Tata, everything has to be changed now. उसके ऊपर बहुत theories आए हैं. There was so much of theories, and most important is उसके ऊपर आपके जो emotional intelligence है ना, उसके ऊपर भी case study आया है. Like it's a very big thing. The Tata Mistry thing that happened is actually a very big thing. It is a book. It is a 368 pages का book. आप टाटा सक्सेशन प्लानिंग के लिए जितना भी पढ़ोगे वो कम है. Similar was the case of Infosys. Have you ever thought about कि Infosys में क्या हुआ है? Like why Infosys अभी तक is under control of an external person? Infosys का इतना highlight नहीं हुआ है. Like they had not highlighted it, but then the crisis is actually, it has a poor succession planning. That is why some 6-7 years back, they had a very high turnover rate. Though Infosys being one of those companies, jo ki like, it's a clean company, na? Like when Narayan Murthy stepped down somewhere in the area, in the year 2002, I guess, 2002. But then Infosys is actually made by 3 people. There were 3 pillars of Infosys. But then none of them came for taking over Infosys. Like when it comes to succession planning, Infosys, when this Mr. Narayan Murthy left it to Vishal Sikka, under Vishal Sikka, Infosys saw a downturn, and Nandan Nilekani at that time took over one government project. It took over the project of Aadhaar. He didn't come down for Infosys. So at one time, Nandan Nilekani returned back to Infosys, and Vishal Sikka left. Vishal Sikka was at that time like वो एक ऐसा टाइम था जहाँ पे Infosys पूरा डाउन में जाता था. उनका कॉर्पोरेट गवर्नेंस बहुत प्रॉब्लम था. The media couldn't report actually. Their corporate governance was very, very bad. Very bad. But then have you ever thought कि why Infosys has been like नारायण मूर्ति के उनके एक बेटे हैं, why he has not taken over, but why it has been given to external people? That is also one of the very good case studies in succession planning. This succession planning जो पढ़ाना होता है ना, succession planning is actually never taught थ्रू कि ये सक्सेशन प्लानिंग का डेफिनेशन है. एचआर इज जैसे पढ़ाया जा रहा है ना, एचआर इज नेवर टॉट कि एचआर का डेफिनेशन ये है, इसका ऑब्जेक्टिव्स ये है. एवरीथिंग हैज टू गो थ्रू अ केस स्टडी. ईच केस स्टडी से आप लोगों को प्रेजेंट करना पड़ता है. दैट इज हाउ इट इज टॉट. ईच सब्जेक्ट का, एचआर का ईच सब्जेक्ट है. ह्यूमन रिसोर्स प्लानिंग का भी एक केस स्टडी है, बहुत अच्छा केस स्टडी है एक कंपनी का. एंड उसी केस स्टडी से ही आपको पढ़ाना पड़ता है. बट देन दैट रिक्वायर्स ग्रुप वर्क. वो इंडिविजुअल वर्क नहीं है, आपको ग्रुप में किया जाता है. एंड ग्रुप में यू पीपल हैड टू ब्रेनस्टॉर्म एंड फाइंड आउट द ऑब्जेक्टिव्स, द मीनिंग, द डेफिनेशन, एवरीथिंग. ये जैसे मैं आपको स्लाइड दिखा के पढ़ा रही हूँ ना, डेफिनेशन, ऑब्जेक्टिव्स, नीड, वैसे नहीं होता है. बट देन व्हाट टू डू, वी कांट हेल्प इट. ओके, एनी मोर डाउट? सक्सेशन प्लानिंग का भरे भरे केस स्टडी है इंडिया में. इट्स लाइक एवरी एंड नॉट परफेक्ट केस स्टडीज, नॉट गुड सक्सेशन प्लानिंग बट बैड सक्सेशन प्लानिंग. और कुछ? Shall I leave now? Anything you need to ask me? All of you are doing well, right? Everybody